train story as it should be told. I was not there because I was not invited. But I like to live vicariously through a friendship that you and Assface forge.
Please call me Ass.
And a train system that you shut down.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
On that tragic day in May.
Whatever it was. Here's the thing.
2012.
The train story has been told by me to great jocularity, and it's
told by me
as a real snooze fest, the Jared version. But what we've never had, either one of us, Jared, is the only true eyewitness to the whole thing. Jensen Saturday. We've never had the woman who witnessed the carnage, who saw it all go down, who may have a different and maybe more accurate perspective on the whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to hear the actual story for the first time.
I've told you the story.
Yeah, she hasn't mentioned the story. I've heard it. Jerkface 1 and 2 tell the story.
Wow, you're really about the faces. It's insulting to the faces. Ass face, jerk face. Really?
So,
Jared and Rich.
you guys are on a train together. You two are planning a trip, and you say, let's ask poor old Rich to come with us.
We're having a romantic vacation.
We were trying to before.
Okay, now wait a minute. Already the story is way wrong. For starters, how many of you have heard the train story? How many of you want to hear the train story? So, wow, lights are on. When a million years ago, we were doing a convention, and I was by myself.
In Birmingham.
They were traveling, and they were gracious enough, as a couple, having a lovely time, they were gracious enough to see sad sack Dick Spade traveling by himself.
Translation, time out. We're gonna do this a lot. Translation. We talked, unfortunately, openly about going to Amsterdam, and somebody went, "Can I come?"
That is not true! Just because I'm drinking a beer made in Amsterdam.
True or not true?
I might have invited Dick Spade to come.
Okay. I'm gonna interpret.
Oh, snap!
Hey, I'm gonna interpret that.
Because
the conversation was, I'm gonna invite Richard, and he goes. He's like, no, and she's like, he's gonna say no. He's gonna get it.
Yes.
Okay, wait a minute. You don't get the color commentary. For those people who are at home, me 1, him 0 so far.
Are you using a timeout?
No.
I'm using another timeout.
You can't use all your timeouts.
That's 2 of 3.
I get 10. I'm big, dude.
Timeouts aren't done by size.
He is Sam, and so.
I'm Sam. I'm
the reason we're here.
Winchester.
Oh, way to play to the house.
So Jen said, I'm gonna invite Richard. He goes, no, and she says, he's gonna say no.
You're making this up. You weren't there.
I was absolutely there.
We're asking.
He was. I know.
Hold on. I want to ask Jen Penlucky. Jen, did you ask, hoping / thinking I would say no? Because this is going to be awkward.
No. I was being polite. And
Polite. Yeah.
In other words, she thought he was gonna say no. And he said, well, yes, I do want to come.
Romantic trip to Amsterdam. Where do I sign? All right, so maybe
So we got on this boat, which was like, I think we didn't realize that it was going to be this overnight sort of excursion.
No, because that also doesn't exactly sweeten the pot for you guys. They were taking an overnight romantic boat to Amsterdam with a stateroom.
Wait, a boat?
Yes,
And me.
Yes.
A boat? Where did the train come in?
Just you and your girlfriend.
Hey, Robbie, listen to the story.
Boat.
Well, we were okay, wait. So
We turned a stateroom into a spate room. Boom.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Rotterdam.
This is really depressing.
I don't remember.
We took the boat to Rotterdam.
Boat to Rotterdam and then train.
To Amsterdam. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Put the dams in there.
We were in Amsterdam, and
Now, I don't know.
And I was the only one who partook in Amsterdam, if you get what I'm saying.
I mean, wait, hold on. Wait a minute, hold on. You mean enjoyed the sights?
Yes.
You asked the wrong Benedict Spade to go with you.
Hold on. So, we get on the train, and I'm sitting on the train, and these gentlemen asked to... do we need to skip back?
Well, we'll do one quick skip back. So Spade, I don't know if he's told you, but he was in Band of Brothers.
He's just saying he had to be a jerk. Because...
Wow, Jared, they already know. You must have mentioned it.
It's not even a sequitur. It's not even a nonsense. You're just an asshole.
So Spade goes like this. Guys, Nashville, I was in Band of Brothers. Milady, why don't you go onto the board and go get a table for us? Myself and your boyfriend have the bags.
Okay.
She's like, all right.
Wow, we really have 2 minutes of
So
this.
it's his fault that the bags.
Wait a minute. Let me start with something.
Yes.
This is important. A lady should never carry her own luggage. I stand behind that. I'm a gentleman, so suck it. Number 2, I don't know, this is something you may not know about the Padalecki's, but the phrase traveling light is not one that's ever utilized when speaking of them on the road.
Hey
it's
guys,
just not.
Point Spade.
Yeah, point Spade.
No. In all fairness, he had 3 checked things. We had 2 each.
Oh, dude, one was a guitar. You're gonna penalize a man for a guitar? I didn't bring 9 like you bring socks.
We were.
He brings an odd number. Yes, that was on purpose.
We were gone for like 4 weeks.
You were not gone for 4 weeks.
Jared had his
wait.
mattress, but she can't leave home without.
She says yes. But you did not. You had 2. That's 4 bags. Listen, you pack whatever you want. You're a national treasure. You have no business packing 2 giant bags.
All right, so lots of bags.
In all fairness, one quick demonstration. For me, one of my shirts is like 4 of Richard's shirts.
That is true. That's
A lot
factually
of
true.
fabric. My shoe, big.
In fairness, I ended up sleeping in his shoe on the boat. It was. It came in very handy. So.
That is scientifically been proven. So.
And between the 2 of us, we should technically even out again.
Okay, so they're on the train. So you can get on the train. Wow.
Oh, Jim Padalecki picks a side. Yeah, nice. I don't know, Robbie.
I don't know either.
Point 2.
I'm time out myself.
Okay, so now we're getting to Jim's part of the story. We're now at the train. We're loading up bags. And like gentlemen, we allow the super high lady to get on the train first.
I have to admit real quick, I've heard the story 10,000 times. I've never heard that you were stoned while that. That makes a lot more sense. I'm just saying, man.
It's like
The story suddenly makes complete sense.
it was like Jared and I were traveling with Janis Joplin. I mean, she was out to lunch, hanging by a thread. I mean, it was dark days. It was like White Rabbit was playing and swirling images were going on. Boom, 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 I'll get on the train, guys. Wow. The doors move. They move. They close. It's freaking me out.
Okay, so we set the scene. She's high as a freaking
I'm
kite.
tired, man.
Sit down, here's my seat. I sit down.
Okay.
You're shortening your part of the story.
Alright.
You gotta talk to
Hey
the
guys.
microphone.
They're loading up the luggage and they sit down and I look up and I say, where's my luggage?
That's exactly right. You go, where's the Toomey? Or is the silver bag, right?
The gray bag.
Okay, bag. And you literally look at one. She's the only one. Hi. Be damned. She's the only one who counts the bags. You know what I like, mission accomplished. We sit down. And she's like, where's
my bag, guys? And
we're like,
so
oh.
Jared seems over and goes, oh. And he goes outside.
Backstory really quick. This is important. Like,
This is basically a dinner party at the Padalecki's house. This is what-
This is important. Osama bin Laden had just been killed like a week earlier.
Really?
And so it was like 2 weeks earlier or something. And so like all of the news channels are like burning red alert.
Are we sure that was? I don't think he'd been killed. I don't think it was captured.
I thought it was before that.
It was before that. Listen.
Precisely.
2011.
The point is, the world was on like burning red alert.
He was close to
like, you put your McDonald's bag up, some guys run over like.
Yeah. It was not a good time to
It's
leave
sort
an
of a
abandoned
world
bag.
where you don't want to like pull any red flags.
You don't want an abandoned bag on a train platform.
Train per se.
Because they really cared in Amsterdam.
They were like, wow, there's a bag, man.
So Woodstock had just sat down. She decided, I can't find a bag.
Hey guys, my bag's gone. Where's my bag?
And-
they both stand up because they're both very chivalrous.
And the heroes of the story say,
We go over like you would. We look out the window, there it is in the platform. We walk towards the doors to go get it, and the doors go.
By the way, that's me knocking, and this is Richard. Keep knocking. Good. Do it again.
I never touched your bottom. I never touched your bottom. That's not true. Don't make it dirty. You know what? I don't remember getting groped on the train. I remember that.
No, it's true.
so he said, good job, you're knocking at the door.
I'm no longer enjoying this mime.
This is Richard. You're doing good, Jared. I got your back.
No, that's not it. You've leapt ahead to the actual part where I retreated. So the doors close. They close. They're gone. They're so close.
No,
Don't open them.
No, but the train starts to go.
Oh, then
The girl shows up. The lady shows up. So I'm knocking. Rich is behind me like, yeah, doing good. Knock lower.
That's not.
Rich is like, yeah, that's gonna do it. That's not gonna open it, Richard. I'm knocking.
Maybe we knock hard enough.
And then like nothing's opening up, and so there are some buttons on the wall. Y'all have all been on like Euro trains? Yeah, Euro rails. There's like a red button and a...
We're in Europe. I think they've been on Euro trains. You know what they call Euro trains here? Trains. You know what they call Thai food in Thailand? Food.
But this is an important part of the story. They're buttons.
There are buttons. And so I'm like, well, I'm just gonna push this green button, which usually opens the doors. I push the green button and it doesn't open. Okay, red button. It doesn't
Has the
open.
train started to move yet?
No,
No.
There's a lady who she walks by and she sees that the luggage is standing next to
on this side, she's over here. She's on this. She's on the platform.
She'll be late.
So she walks over.
She walked in here. Hey, she walked over from here.
People do not have one. This lady walks over here.
Jared, what's she skipping?
And she goes,
Here she's weird. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, and
And she looks at Jared, and I'll do it to the camera, and she goes. As in, what the F you want me to do about it, Broheim?
and now
And now the train starts to move. Oddly, Jen's seat stayed stationary because she was so hot.
so I turned to them.
Man, the train's moving, man. The train's moving, man. Oh my God.
So you turn to them and you
So
say,
I turned to them calmly. I'm sitting in the chair and they're panicking like, I'm just sitting in the chair and I'm like, it's cool.
I mean, folks, this is the part of the story that we've not heard yet. These two a-holes overreacting.
her words were, it's just stuff, man.
I think you're just kind of funny.
So,
It's just stop. We're gonna stop, and you know what? I'll go back. I'll get the bag.
Alter.
Fine.
We're gonna stop.
she said that she suggested she would go back in the next time. She injected logic in a process where we felt logic didn't belong. So we go back.
So that was.
Well, we vetoed her idea, which was the strong one. We go back to the door and we pushed all the buttons. At this point, we're in nervous mode, and I go.
Godzilla comes out.
Well, I go. I say, there's one more button we haven't hit, but it's behind plexiglass. And Onk over here goes.
Y'all seen the doors? There's like, I think it's glass. It's not plexiglass.
You do know these are Europeans. Again, they're train-taking people.
It's like Euroglass.
You guys ever been in a car and there's a thing in the front and it steers the car? It's called a steering wheel.
It's a Euro wheel. It's a Euro steering.
So there's a thing under.
Real quick, at the point when this was happening, how fast were we going? Was it just
We're cruising. We're starting to move. We're gone.
So we're going. We're gone.
For a minute, yeah, 100.
And so I see this. Oh, we forgot the one thing where we both go before this happens. Jared goes.
You go that way, I'll go this way.
And we went, and he went to that end of the train, and we're going to demonstrate our stride length that are slightly different. He went that way, I went this way.
Jared went 10 cars down.
Came back. He said, "There's no one at that end of the train."
There's no one at that end of the train.
No one driving the train. He's screaming over me. I'm screaming into his chest.
And Jen's like, we're on tracks, dude.
I can see your screams, man. I smell them. And now,
How come I'm the voice of reason?
you're the high voice of reason, everybody just chill. So now there's a plexiglass button, and I say,
And I'm like, why are you breathing so funny?
It took me 2 steps. There's a button behind plexiglass, but it's behind plexiglass, so I guess we can't do anything with that. And on the caveman goes, cut out. Bloody your knuckles.
Glass breaks, my hand is bleeding.
Yeah.
Glass breaks, and I sort of like scratch it out, and I'm like, well shit, I've broken the glass. I can't push the button.
By the way, kids at home, I do not want you to live by the motto, I've broken the glass, I'm not going to push the button. But I do want you to make a t-shirt out of it now.
You don't ever ride a train.
There are laptops that are just like,
Great. And meanwhile,
This is where I go.
the trip of
I
her
don't
life.
know that I
Or when you go wine glass just flew by. The Daily News.
I thought we were telling
can
this is
fly.
two sides and then the truth. I thought you were supposed to.
I dig your story more now. I like it.
I want to hear that.
Jen's like, hey guys, that thing just flew.
Oh my God.
I like that our story is like we're telling like a story. Meanwhile, on C13C.
Meanwhile, I'm in Germany and waiting for a train.
This ain't the Oscars.
Waiting for a train.
Yeah.
Stops. No, sorry, all the trains are stopped.
In all of Europe.
All of Europe.
Oh,
Who was that,
So, needless to say, we ruined all of your vacations. We're leaving the stage right now so you can say goodbye to these people, but that is your train story. You're welcome.
Come on. Take a look at the new pages. You know you want to.
I think I'll pass.
I think you're really gonna like them. You're right. It's a little high. All right. Suit yourself. If I had wings like Noah's dove, I'd fly up the river to the one I love. Fare thee well, Fare thee well. I knew a man, long and tall. He moved his body like a cannonball. Oh, fare thee well, honey. Fare thee well. Remember one night, the drizzling rain, and around my heart I felt an aching pain. Fare thee well, honey. Fare thee well. One of these days, it won't be long, you'll call my name and I'll be gone. Fare thee well, honey. Fare thee well. Okay. We should probably talk.
Next year is going to be interesting. Not going to lie, I talked about this in my meet and greet. We have a whole shift of change of people coming into the show. Luckily, not much in the way of cast and not much in the way of crew, but we've had some writers move on. We've had some editors move on. We've had some producers move on. We've had a lot of change. So I know that you guys are awesome and amazing and very forgiving, and hopefully you won't have to be, because I think that we've got a really cool road ahead of us, and I think we've got some cool stories to tell, and I do know the people that are in charge right now, and they will not lead us astray. So have confidence in us. Let's start with some questions that really fuels us, and I've said that before. So the questions that I have for you a lot of times arise when we're filming, and they're questions that I have to ask and then answer for you, because it's like, gosh, what would they like right now? I think they'd probably like this. You're probably right. You've had too much apple juice. Again, right. However, I'm going to go with that choice. I'm stalling.
Hello, Jensen.
Hi.
Jared said he loves when you talk at the same time. Is there any specific or funny moment when that happened?
All of the time. I mean, you have to understand that there is no other human on this planet that I spend more time with than Jared Padalecki. It's true. So, the fact that we play brothers on TV is easy because we feel like brothers off camera. And all right, I gotta tell you a funny story. So, the talking at the same time happens because he and I have spent so much time together that we think a lot alike. When we see something, we think of a similar comment, and we say it out loud, a lot of times at the exact same time. Jared's quick-witted. I think you guys know that. I'll never tell him that. But the only reason I say that is to compliment myself. Because I too am quick-witted. Which is why we say stuff at the same time. See what I did there? I'm not done. She's so cute. So we say stuff a lot simultaneously on set. Just in between scenes and when something's happening, whatever, he and I will think of the exact same comment at the exact same time and deliver it simultaneously. And our camera operator, Brad Creaser, who some of you know, whenever that happens, he looks up and goes, "I love when they talk at the same time." He's also the same one that whenever whenever Sam and Dean get into an argument on camera, they'll yell "cut," which we've had some pretty heated arguments on camera. When they yell "cut," Brad just goes, "I hate it when they fight." So, aside from Brad, we have many others that have been with us for a long time, and are really invested in these characters in this show. And what's really cool, and I said this years ago, and I can still say it today, which is even cooler. I see the guy who does the lighting, the guy who cleans the trash bins, the guy who does the grunt work and really the thankless jobs of production. And in my opinion, those are the real unsung heroes. In fact, every Friday we have a $5 Friday. Don't tell the IRS this or Warner Brothers. We have a $5 Friday. Everybody pitches in $5. They put their name on a piece of paper, and at the end of the night, somebody draws a piece of paper. They won the lottery. They won the $5 Friday. And it could be a couple $100. It could be a couple of $1,000. Depends on how much people are, getting into it that day. And I will say that Jared and I, we may have missed a few Fridays, but usually we donate. We like to call it splashing the pot. And we'll drop in a 50 or $100, and we'll just write the production assistants. And it's so if they win, then they get the pot. So it's like those are really the thankless heroes. But what I was getting to is they're still reading the scripts. Like I'll look around and I'll see those guys reading the scripts. They don't have to do that. Like they're there collecting a paycheck. They don't need to do that, but they care about this show. And it goes all the way down to those guys, and that's cool to me. They care about the show, and so does the rest of the crew. When I see the camera operators, sitting in between takes, reading scripts, and they care about the show. So know that it is in good hands, and people that work on the show respect the show and love what they do, and I think it shows, which is one of the reasons why I think you're sitting here asking the question. What was the question? I was just kidding, I'm done. No, I'm kidding. You're sweet, and I like your shirt. One comes to mind that resonates in my funny bank, and that is the scene, it was Richard Spade's episode, Just My Imagination. and it's when Sam and Dean walk in and see Sparkle dead, and the mother wipes the glitter paint all over her face. There were probably a half a dozen, if not 10 different ways we did that scene. And it was because Nate, who is such a great comedic actor, was doing so many fun, cool, different things. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're doing sketch comedy here. This is like Saturday Night Live. So I just started riffing with him, and we did so many different takes of us doing so many different ways, different dialogue, different jokes, playing off like what he was doing, and it would change what I was doing. And that to me, I was like, I feel like I was just on Saturday Night Live. Like that's what it was, or doing some sort of like comedy. And then I was like, that would be so fun. I'll never get to do Saturday Night Live. Big dream of mine, just FYI. So anyway, that was probably one of the funnier scenes that I can remember in season 11 was that. The whole telling like, you guys, just get in the shower, everybody, all of you, come on in, just the whole lot, get the gang in it, scrub down, don't drop the soap, but scrub down, do your thing. Yeah. That went a lot, that went so many different directions. The latter, Dean didn't have much of a childhood, because he couldn't. I think his dad impressed upon him very quickly and very early that life was not going to be what you thought it was going to be. That your childhood as you know it, or as you thought it was going to be, is not going to be. It's going to be worlds different. And so I think Dean did have to grow up very quickly, and I think it was either an accept or reject situation, and he obviously accepted it. And he said, okay, this is my life, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow my father, and I'm going to learn from him, and I'm going to be his student and his apprentice. And so I think to have those kind of outlets, those imaginary friends, and that normalcy that I think most children probably have, Dean was, he almost, and I always think that he kind of reveled in the fact that he knew that wasn't, or he knew that what normal was, and that he didn't want that, and that he didn't have that. I don't think he missed it. I think at an early age, I think he was like, this is way more interesting. I'm on hunting trips with my father. I'm not going to recess. And then I think it wasn't until later in life when he started doubting that and thinking like, how dare he steal that from me? How dare he steal my childhood from me? And I think that's probably a conversation that he will have one day with his father, which I'd love to film that scene. So, bing, bang, boom. And the smoke machine, really? Good Lord. So now we're back to leather. Yeah. True story. There were some texts going around amongst the crew. There was a picture that was sent out that had Rob wearing a scarf, and Tomo then commented and said, "Oh, are we going scarf night tonight?" And I commented, I'm like, scarves are so 2015. And then Spate was like, great, Ackles, what kind of clothing article do we need to wear this year? And I said, leather, boys. It's all about leather. And if that doesn't work, flip it and reverse it. That felt good, not gonna lie. The apple juice tastes wonderful. Thank you. I think it'd be cool because I've dipped my toe in the water with this particular character, but Jason Todd might be cool.
Woo! Yes! You know
That did not get nearly as much applause as I was hoping it would. Everybody's like, who's Jensen Todd?
Red Hood!
Red Hood, yeah.
Yes!
That could be cool, but at this point, whatever they want. As long as it's not too tight. Some with a big flowy cape. And no rubber. Leather. So that's the bad part about sitting in the front row. I hear you. I'm Leatherman.